I'm very proud of my roots in India, my birth country, where my mother still lives after my father's passing earlier this year. And as the first and only Indian American woman in the United States Congress, I'm deeply invested in this strong U.S.-India bilateral relationship. Our relationship has been forged in shared democratic values, countering the influence of China, and strategic partnerships on everything from innovative technologies to pharmaceutical manufacturing. And I think a relationship that strengthens both of our countries while calling out areas of disagreement, if necessary, is very important. We've both our countries face enormous challenges today, including democratic backsliding, including discrimination, decreasing freedoms of press and religion, and increasing human rights abuses. We also are facing challenges around tariffs, both here in the United States and in India. These tariffs are damaging India's economy and also hurting American businesses and consumers. Just last week, I heard from a fifth-generation family-owned company in Washington state that relies on agricultural products from India that can't be sourced at scale in the United States. They told me that these tariffs are the greatest threat to their business in over 120 years, and they're looking at either downsizing or offshoring their production to meet increased costs. Meanwhile, this president has threatened people-to-people ties by shutting down legal pathways to immigrate, reminiscent of a legacy of discriminatory quotas that made it extremely difficult for Indians to immigrate in the first place. As the only member of Congress to have been on both a student visa and an H-1B visa, I deeply understand the harms of those policies and am committed to making sure that we continue to provide strong legal pathways for people to come to this country from India as well as around the world. I've also been concerned about, and just met with this morning, a coalition of groups that's been working on anti-Indian hate that has been rising in the United States, and I've been hearing about from my own constituents. I just want to make the point that Indian Americans are extremely important to our economy, an integral part of our society.
India as a temporary or transactional partner. Still, we must view this moment with clear eyes. President Putin's warm visit to India last week and India's participation in China's Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit this September raised some understandable concerns. At the same time, India has agreed to purchase more American energy, thereby reducing significantly its reliance on Russia. In fact, on my way in earlier, I ran into a delegation of parliamentarians from Latvia who, through connections with Michigan and the Michigan National Guard and the Latvian military, we're all very acquainted with them. And when I mentioned that I was going to be chairing this hearing on India and U.S. relations, the first thing that they brought up was, please ask them to stop buying Russian oil so that they don't have the cash to be a threat to us. So message received, message delivered. Moreover, authoritarian powers like China and Russia are redrawing borders by force, undermining democratic norms, and coercing their neighbors. Nowhere is this more evident than in the Indo-Pacific, where an increasingly aggressive China threatens regional stability, global prosperity, and the open flow of commerce. China's string of pearls ideology is no longer just a theory, but rather an overt attempt to encircle and control the Indian Ocean, its sea lanes, and expand the militarization of these strategic ports and trade routes. We cannot allow this to happen, in my opinion. India knows these risks firsthand. Since 2020, Chinese forces have killed Indian soldiers on their shared border. India has responded decisively, pushing back against Chinese military pressure.